love the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, jack it up, pull it up, come again.
Reggae, my life. Donovan Germain, record producer, publisher, and artist manager, is the head cook and bottle washer at Penthouse Records.
When I was born, there was a sound system by the name of El Toro that was right across from me, and they played music every weekend. That's where I fell in love with music. But going to Kingston College was sports and schoolwork. I never thought about music. When I went to live in the States, my first job was in a record store, a part-time job. And I ended up buying the record store. And that's where my career as a person in the record industry really started.
Donovan Germain's interesting story unfolds after this.
I used to work at a brokerage house in Wall Street by the name of Low Blows and Company. I used to work from 2 until 5 in the mornings as a junior accountant there. My stay at the job each day depended on the volume of work on the stock exchange. And I remember one day I got up and I said to myself, why I keep going to this job every single day and I have this record store that I can really invest my time in. And I just sat on the counter. I didn't even resign from my job. I just didn't go back. And then I started to invest my time, full time in the music.
All of us in life, we dream of what we're going to become. What were you going to become while you were dreaming of the future, where your life would lead you?
Well, when I was in Jamaica, everybody wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. When I went to the States, I went to a business school. You know, because I figured, well, I wanted to go in business. But at the time, I didn't think about owning my own business. Because while I was going to high school, I also had a job at Manufacturers and Over Trust, which is a bank. And so I was getting all these exposure in business. So I was more or less figuring that I wanted to be in business. So when the shop situation just like it's just a natural progression for me to go into business. So I just go to business for myself instead of working for somebody else.
Put a year on it. What year was that?
1976. I actually went into business for myself full time.
And how long did you linger in the colder climes, if you want to call it, before you decided Jamaica, here I come?
I stayed in New York until January 1980. I decided I had enough of the winters there, and I moved to Florida and set up a company in Florida. And then I moved from Florida in 1988 to Jamaica and started Penthouse.
I am at Penthouse Studios now, and this is the second location. The first one was on Slipe Road, and I've known Donovan Germain and the Penthouse surrounding since 1988. So if you do the math, it is about 26 years, right? Am I correct?
Coming into business must have been a little bit challenging though, because you would have come in when Dynamic Sounds, Federal Records were really kicking up and doing a lot of things, and you were the little green one just dropping in from the States and wanting to get into this dynamic recording business. It couldn't have been easy.
As a KC old boy, I was just fearless. I knew what I wanted, and I knew I had the passion, and I just knew that come hell or high water, I'm going to be successful at this, because this is what I decided as my career. So I was looking at Dynamics or any other producer or any other production house. I just knew that I loved music, and I knew that I had a passion for it, and like I said, it was work to me. So I was committed to it. So even though the so-called obstacles. It didn't really, it was an obstacle to me. I just knew I could go around that obstacle and make on the path that I wanted to pursue. So it wasn't, to me it wasn't hard, like I knew what I had to do.
But then to do it, you had to have the talent to do it with. So how did you go about getting the talent you needed to get started?
Well, I think God gave me a talent of being able to listen, to hear, and the fact that I was coming from New York with a background of being a distributor for Treasure Island, Lee Perry and the Gussie. I had a foothold in the business that I knew people based on the fact that I was a distributor and selling a record store. So the transition wasn't that hard because I already knew artists and things. So just a matter of I had an idea of a song and I just went and found the person who I wanted to use on that song. And they went to the studio and did the song.
So you went looking for the artist, not the artist looking for you?
No, I went looking for the artist.
After a while, the artist would come knocking the door down, yes.
Yes, but initially, I had to go out and find the artist that I wanted to do. I had a specific project in mind, and I figured who I wanted to use on that project. I just went out and found that person and, did the project.
Lord of mercy, I need the very, very bad.
Now
Any lover with me want nothing get.
When Reggae, My Life returns, we will find out how Donovan Germain earned his place in history as one of the most successful reggae producers of all time.
Love is a splendid thing. Lord, this a love come like a giant to bring.
Love you like a fresh vegetable. So tell me if you love Tony Red.
Donovan Germain's Penthouse Records was the launching pad and stomping ground for some of the biggest names in reggae.
I've recorded Mighty Diamond, Tamlins, Kelly McGregor, Beres Hammond, Marcia Griffiths, Win One, the Tony Rebel, Cutty Ranks, Buju Banton, The Tana, Romain Virgo, A.J. Brown, Tessanchin, Richie Stevens, Dwayne Stevens, Assassin, Nadine Sutherland, Siobhan, Queen Africa. Also, we can't leave out my new artist, Sugar, D Major, R.C., Dalton Harris. But we haven't recorded.
Well, you can see on the wall that you recorded international names too, man.
Maxi Priest,
Right.
Aswad, the Rock Melon, some to Australia.
Let's say working with Jamaican artists isn't easy. Is that so?
I don't have a problem, because what I find, if an artist believes in your talent, is the easiest person to work with. But one of the problem we have in our industry that other people who are not really professional and they say they want to be producers, they're basically waiting for the engineers to be the producers. So the artist comes in and in that kind of environment, it might make it difficult to work with. But I don't have a problem with an artist. I've never had any problem with an artist. Because they believe in what I do. Because my track record is there for them to buy into what I'm saying.
If I were to ask you, who stands out in your mind as the one you most enjoyed working with? Maybe because you worked with them for a longer period of time, whatever the reason might be.
Everybody brings a different flavor to the table. So it is interesting to work with Beres Hammond based on how he goes about writing a song. Marcia Griffiths, I love her voice. I would actually say I'm a fan of Marcia Griffiths.
I find German to be quite an honest person and someone who we can relate to in whatever area you choose. So that makes recording and doing music much easier, and you bring out better things inside of you, being in a stable where you're comfortable. Because Germain would always be in the control room and, just looking at Germain out there, that he's meticulous in his criticism and whatever it is. So, and he does it in such a way that you're never offended.
Happy feelings with me again. Now that Yesterday I was so lost, but today I found true love at last. Deep, deep in my heart, I would love again. Oh yes, we will make a new start, sharing love, sharing the very end. My new lover, my new friend.
Penthouse Records was definitely an asset in my career to take it to another level. At the time, I started out with Penthouse in 1986. The run I had in the entire 90s with the Penthouse was a major point in my career, because everything I started doing combinations with Beres Hammond, Tony Rebel, Cutty Ranks, just about everyone who graced the stable in the Penthouse. And I was there as a lone female singer, very consistent, with hit songs, fire burning, doing cover versions, and I mean, that just took me to another level.
Beres Hammond is my friend.
German is my brethren. Says it's more than just a music thing inside the studio. It has grown to be more than a music thing. You know, we became good friends. At this time, Jamaica had just few studios, just very few recording studios, and his studio was one of the studios that was active. So I went down there to book some time, and he said he had no time available. If I needed to get some time there, I would have to sing on a rhythm for him. And then he had, I think it was a Thursday, he had Thursday for Penthouse sessions, so he would have given me that day. Anyway, then play the rhythm, and the rhythm was what ended up to be Tempted to Touch.
Hey little girl, each time you pass my way, I'm tempted to touch. Oh baby, the dress you wear, your perfume, keep me wanting you so much. Now I can't help thinking of you, of all the lonely nights that you put me through.
When we get together still, and we make music, it comes out wonderful. And I can say that for few of my producers, we always end up, you know, having good production. And in kind of lead the thing as a producer to Beres Hammond. Because I'm going to take well to producer now. Because lots of producers were done at a time they don't have vibe, but they don't have the music or nothing. You know, and this is the greatest part of production, the airing. You know, and that work well.
Marcia Griffiths and Beres Hammond would be probably there's something that would stand out for me. But from the younger art, like I said, I enjoy working with all the artists because I try and foster a family environment that we work in. So we take the work out of it, try and make it fun. That's how we get the best results when it's fun.
Penthouse is an institution because any management or any manager that you find that does so many different things to help people in this business of music, you have to consider them an institution and not just a manager or a producer.
But what we notice as those listening on, looking on, and hearing the music coming out, sometimes there's a relationship with an artist, and then the artist moves on. Mm-hmm. Breaking up is hard to do. Is it that hard in the music business?
Yeah, it is. Worse if you are the first gear in the artist's career, and you committed a lot of time, But what I've learned over the years is that even with your, you have your own kids, at some point they're going to leave the house. It's just based on how they leave the house. Because sometimes, what I find happen in the industry that after a while, as the artist becomes bigger and bigger, and they tend to feel they diminish your work that you put in. It's not as valuable to them as it was in the initial stages. And for me, that's what bothers me as an artist manager. I don't have a problem if we run a part company, because you part company with your wife, you part company with your kids. But go about it, the proper way, that you don't diminish a person's value in the process. Because when you're nobody, you're the people putting their money in your career to get it to where the first gear in the car is the strongest gear in the car, because it's moving you from a stationary position. So I keep saying, do not diss the people, the first gear in your career. If you have the part company, you can part, you have a problem with that. But be mindful of the people that was there when nobody knew you, and you didn't have a dollar, and they used their dollar to invest in you that people can know you.
When the parting of ways came with Buju, for example, it was shocking, I would think. Would be a way to say it seemed shocking, because you started him, you took him from nowhere, made him a star, he was growing to become a superstar, and then all of a sudden he's no longer a part of the Penthouse crew.
Yeah, shocking, and the way it was done. But you see, sometimes artists fall victim to outside influence. In the long run, they end up regretting it, So it's well, like again, artists must always remember where they're coming from. I was born by Nelson Road and Maxwell Avenue, and every now and then I drive down there, to reconnect. I don't want to ever forget where I'm coming from. So it keeps me focused, and I don't want to go back down there to live. So I go there, and for the grace of God, I could be still living down there. So I keep going. Every now and then I pass around there, reconnect my past, keeps me focused on what's happening in my life now.
We recall memorable moments in Jamaican music as we talk to Donovan Germain, record producer, publisher, and artist manager on Reggae My Life. We'll be back in a moment. Donovan Germain, record producer, publisher, and artist manager, opened Penthouse Recording Studios 27 years ago, became Jamaica's leading record producer along the way, and he thinks he has the formula to stay at the top of the game.
One of the things, the issue of Penthouse is that I've always invested in young people. And artist development is really one of the on top of my list. Because if an artist is not prepared for stardom, when stardom happens, they don't know how to handle it. So I basically have every year, I might find a young set of people, and I will work with these people until they become stars. So that basically, it keeps me relevant, because I'm always getting new young talent in the company, but I'm also recording the Marcia, the Beres, the old artists, that gives the label a certain prestige that even distributors over the world, they will look at a younger artist because it's on a Penthouse label, because they know the same label. They have Beres Hammond, they have Marcia Griffiths, they have all these other major stars on the label also. So it automatically legitimizes the younger artists. So that is how I really keep the balance going. So,
talk to you, baby. As she stepped on off the train yesterday in the pouring rain, with her clothes all packed, her face messed up, I could tell she was feeling pain. I thought I had something sweet to tell her as I opened up my umbrella. She was so confused, scared and abused, tried to hide it with a smile. And just like the night in shining armor, I used my charm just to calm her. I'm taking you home with me tonight. You're gonna stay with me for life. I'm taking you home with me tonight. Cause I'm a lover, baby, I won't fight. She said she didn't know where she was going. All she knows, she had to leave him fast. Cause if she didn't leave, she didn't know how long she was gonna last. So many times he told her sorry, so many times he said he'd stop, but he goes on and on, her mind's made up. She said she ain't going back. And just like a knight in shining armor, I use my charm just to calm her, engage her in a good conversation, just try to ease her frustration. And she told me a story. I told her, baby, don't worry, I'm the man that you're looking for. Baby, got your lucky star. Cause I'm taking you home with me tonight. You're gonna stay with me for life. I'm taking you home with me tonight. Cause I'm a lover, baby, I won't fight. I won't fight you, baby. Yeah.
And to be a part of the whole team, you know, and I just look forward to continue to work with Penthouse as long as I live. You know, sometimes when I feel like I'm straying from the real thing, you know, this is where I have to come back and just do some real music. Whatever I wrote, it had to make sense, because I know that Donovan Germain isn't somebody in the foolishness. He want whatever you write had to be something with quality. I did the one song that we were contracted to do with Donovan Germain, you know, and then came the song Can't Sleep and the Feel Good Rhythm with Beres Hammond. And I think that song was, you know, the real start to my career of doing original music. Any young artist would feel, you know, overwhelmed and overjoyed and honored to be on a track with Beres Hammond. You know, and I think that even helped the song to become what it you know, it became back then.
I have no fear, because God gave me a gift. I do abuse it, and I do not prostitute my talent, and I always put the music first, and I respect the Coxsons and the Baba and because they were the foundation of the music, and if they made a sacrifice for people like myself to come and enjoy the fruits of an industry. Because if you look at it, Jamaica is one of the very few all-year music industry in the world. So if I think people will take a step back and can appreciate the fact about the music, our music industry, and put it first, it will be a much better stead, you know.
Hold that thought. Donovan Germain has much more to say about what's wrong with the music today when we come back.
When me did that get me start, them why you turn papa. Why want you waste your life away each and every day? Them why you turn papa.
Reggae, my life. What's wrong with reggae music today? Donovan Germain gives his candid opinion.
But right now, people are singing about how much money they have, how much girls they have, how much energy they can buy, and the music was never built on that. The music was built on issues that affected poor people without a voice. So until we can't, that's why I'm so happy that people like Chronics and the Janine are trying to get back to that message, to bring the music back to that point where people can have respect for the music, because in these bad economical times, I don't want to hear how much money you have. You don't want to sing about that to me, like you're showing off for me. I want to hear something inspire me. How am I going to solve the problem that I'm having today? I can't pay the rent today. Or inspire me that there's hope tomorrow. Don't tell me how much money you have, because that don't help the situation. So until we get past those things and the lot of NSCs and, you know, and go back to the foundation of music, because that is what all those foreign artists are doing. You know. They're singing about issues. They're not saying about how much money they have, and how much cars they have, how much girls they have, and how much a big house they mean. So we have lost, this generation of artists have lost a way in terms of what this music was all about, what it was built on. So again, the Chronics and the Proteges and the Ibamars and these young coming, I support them wholeheartedly and hope that they don't get sidetracked. Because sometimes it might be a little bit slower, a little bit more difficult, but in the long run, I always tell them, Bob Marley is today still the biggest selling reggae artist in the world. And if you look at his work, what his work was all about. He never sang about cars and money and NSCs and stuff like that.
Frivolous things, eh?
Yes.
So you directly influence what the artist record? Do you put exert an influence on the content that comes out?
Yeah, man. Because it comes on my label. So whatever comes on my label, I have to be comfortable with it. You can't come and sing any untoward thing on my label because that's a reflection of me. Yeah, so I always tell them that they represent Penthouse, they represent himself and they represent Penthouse. And I am very protective of the brand Penthouse because it took me a lot of years to get it to where it is a respected worldwide label. So you can't walk into it and figure that you can't walk in and just tarnish that, really.
I was a youth from country, and when I met Donovan Germain as a talented man myself, meeting a talented producer, the combination was just great. You know what I mean? He was one of the best producers that Jamaica I've ever seen, and you know, one of those artists who, as you can see. So that combination breeds a wonderful life in the music, spanning over 20 odd years, and have been all over the world, have created numerous number ones. Yeah, just have grown tremendously. I have even created my own company, which Donovan Germain will always tell you that, like Flames Production, where we keep Rebel Salute from and manage some artists and do some work, is like his child. So the things that we do from Flames, he considered that as his children. Whether it is an event or it's people like a Queen Ifrica and says and granddaughter and all of that kind of stuff.
I would be a tag along really still, I would be like the little artist in the camp that is trying to get that little break and everything. I was not enthused about music as much, but I was encouraged to use the talent that I have, that I should tap into that talent, and so it was that introduction that really helped to propel a lot of the hits I have on Penthouse label are rhythms that Rebel got from him. And then when I went, you say, make sure you write a good song on it, so that Germain would want to voice it. And then when we go to the studio, he would voice his song, and then he said, why Germain, you think my song bad? Want Queen of a thing, they for it down.
Yeah, Germain has been wonderful in my career. I want to tell you, I tell him every time, say, regardless of anything, I still check for him. I love him because my blessing came through him, and that must be something special.
Donovan Germain keeps Penthouse Records relevant despite the emerging technologies. How? We'll find out when Reggae My Life returns. Donovan Germain looks to the future as he introduces three of tomorrow's brightest stars on Reggae My Life.
Give me three big artists, right? From Penthouse. Give me three big artists that you must look out for who will be big artists in 2023.
Without a doubt, Sugar will be a big artist, a female. Yeah, Dalton Harris is a youngster that KC now. RC, D Major. These are artists going to be the next wave of artists coming through with a good foundation. Not just as artists, but they'll have good foundation, have a better grasp of what the music industry is all about. Because artist development is, like I say, very important here. Because if the artist, like I say, is not prepared, they don't know to act when stardom happens.
Took me from my roots. Try to destroy my stem. They try to cut down my branches, said them want to see my life end. But my strength increase the more that they multiply. The trunk and the roots will firm to the ground. I am ebony, ebony is strong, ebony survives, ebony is free. I am ebony.
I heard Lukey D playing a rhythm. OMG, it was the OMG rhythm, and I asked whose rhythm was that, because it was such a beautiful sound, and I didn't know much producers at the time, but I knew that was a beautiful rhythm and I had to be on it. So I asked him where he got it. He told me it was a Penthouse Records rhythm. Without Mr. Germain's permission, I wrote a song to it. Called him a few times, he didn't answer, so I sent him a text. Told him that, hey, this is Sugar. I heard a rhythm that you made and I want to be on it. I wrote a song, so you could give me a moment of your time. And he called back and he was like, alright, Sugar, come this evening and let me hear what you have. And I came and I recorded the song and I'm here. So I started to actually feel like I was a part of the family when Mr. Germain called me and he was like, I have a song that I want you to sing. It was a cover. It was Michael Bolton's Said I Love You But I Lied. I was very excited about it. Came to the studio and he was actually telling me what to do. He wasn't just following my lead. He was telling me what he wanted. So at that moment I felt like, yes, Mr. Germain, I work with me. I think he likes me, and I was feeling like I was a part of something at that moment. And I kept coming back every day, every single day. This was like my workplace. Some people do 9 to 5. This is my job. I'm here at Penthouse Records every single day.
Left all alone in the middle of the night, that's all she was left to do. While her man gone a road, now come back till 3 or the next day at noon. If him not drunk, him come back tired. She say him quick fi explain, but she know him is a liar. She see the lipstick stains that remained, so all the lies he told her were in vain. He wasn't there when she needed.
Now as a part of the Penthouse family, I am able to make music that is not just the typical rarity. I am now able to contribute to a legacy that will come in the next 10 years.
Reaching out to every youth, yeah. From you know you represent the truth, yeah. Realness. Every man, every lane, yes. Every trench, every drain, wow. Light it up, represent this one. One of the realest selection. And if you a paper soldier, me know me not gonna see you on. Because real no real boy, real no real boy. So tell the artificial them disappear like vapor. We know so them a carbon paper. Telling you again, real no real boy, real no real boy.
And me have to salute Donovan Germain again, because a producer of his standards and everything, you know, give me creative freedom, you know, to work on this album, and it's pleasing to see that he, at the end of the day, is pleased and happy with the outcome of the productions and everything. So, you know, I have to salute him. I'm excited about this album as well, you know. So the debut album is ready, Penthouse Productions. I think it will be distributed to VP as well. But Donovan Germain, I have to big him up, you know, because I mean this has been a long time coming, and this is going to be a serious mark in my career. First album, Penthouse Productions and everything. So that is what is present and should pave a lot of way for the future, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm expecting a lot from it, just off the encouragement and the what I said. If you see how Germain elated about this album, we expect a lot.
Africans with African pride, fighting to attain our rights. One more, heading up there, for a nation to move forward. Africans with African pride.
Donovan Germain recalls his best and worst moments in the business when Reggae, My Life continues.
What would you say was your best moment, if you want to call it your happiest moment in the business?
You know, I don't think I could single out only one moment. One of the things for me is that I'm satisfied when a young person comes to Penthouse with nothing, and then when they accomplish things and their life can be comfortable. That to me is satisfying, because I know I've contributed to one less person coming around to rob me. So to me, the satisfying moment is that all the artists that I've managed, every single one of them own their own homes. To me, that is one of the most satisfying things.
But there will be a worst moment, perhaps.
The worst moment is undoubtedly the Buju situation. That's a no-brainer to ask that question. It is, you know, the worst moment. You know.
What are your thoughts? Because you must have said a lot of things, you know, through the unfolding of the whole of this scenario, from the first time it became news until the ultimate point where he's now incarcerated. You must have had a lot of thoughts going through your head all this time.
It's a situation you'd say, you know, you wasted so much years of work, because, you know, I don't know, all the Buju knows what really transpired. Everybody else can say we can speculate. Only knew his intent. Only one can answer that question.
You haven't spoken to him?
Yes, I spoke to him, and he asked me a question if I think he will be doing something like that. I said, well, based on the process that I know, I don't think he would have been doing that. But I can only base on what my interaction with him over the years. You know, but it's sad, because I think the music industry is poorer for the loss of his contribution right now. That's without a doubt. That I can say without a doubt. You know, but without, you know, undeniably that's the worst. That's the lowest point, you know, lowest point of mine. Because you know, you start artists from nowhere, and you come and you conquer in the world, and they just, you know.
Bottom just fell right.
Yeah, it just, you know.
It's sad.
From even the best elites that walk at that daylight. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. I wanna rule my destiny. Yeah, oh, if I please, Jaja make me rule my destiny. Whoa, whoa, cause the way their cards are most, Lord, you have them in the region, in the valley of decision, restraining the Edens with a rod of iron. You know not the destiny of a next man, why hold him? Set him free for too long. I wanna rule my destiny. Oh yeah, I really wanna rule my destiny. Hear me call, call, call. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. I wanna rule my destiny. Oh, hey, if I please, take a wanna rule my destiny. Where could I found? My destination is homeward bound. No forces try hold I down. Breaking chains has become the norm. I know I must get through, no matter what I want. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. Destiny, mama look from when you calling. I wanna rule my destiny, Lord. And I tell you once more, the rich man's wealth is in the city. Oh, destruction of the poor is our poverty. Yeah, destruction of our soul is vanity. Oh, do you hear? Do you hear? Whoa, whoa, destiny, destiny.
What is your feeling about the state of reggae music in Jamaica now, as opposed to what's happening internationally in reggae? With
the advent of technology, we kind of lost a bit of the the quality control in the music industry, because everybody will compete at home, they can make a song. So they make a song, you can put it up on YouTube and you can give it to a friend on the radio. And people that don't need to have to go to the studio and rent the studio to make a song, you have to make sure that the song so good to can recoup the money that you invest in now. That's not really not the situation in music. I think the radio disc jockeys have a lot to do with the demise of the music also, because I think a lot of untrained people are on radio, and therefore the quality, because they've not been trained, they just play something. I think also that it's wrong that you play on a 4-hour program, you're playing 10 songs from one artist, and a young artist might have a good song and they can't get a play because they're playing 10 songs of artists, or maybe the 10 songs the artist is just popular, so every song you play the song don't necessarily have to be a good song, but because the artist did the song. So the quality control can get skewed a bit, but I have no fear that music is going anywhere, because we have been making, there are producers here that have been making quality music, we just like getting exposure, because like a lot of new young disc jockeys come on the radio, new selectors, they do have a relationship with you. People tend to be playing songs based on relationship as opposed to playing songs on quality. So until I tell people that the business is basically purging itself, and there's a new crop of young artists coming up now who seem to trying to rekindle the vision of the first generation of musicians, artists, which is very refreshing. And I'm hoping that the disc jockeys now will get a better understanding of what quality is all about in music, and it's not necessarily because of the name of an artist really means that there's quality in the music. Because everybody makes most of that, some artists make a lot of junk, they make excellent songs. Try and find the good songs or the excellent song, and think about putting the music first as opposed to putting yourself first.
Why I like Germain is that Germain really tries to do excellent work. You know, the background vocals have to be on point, the musicality have to be on point, and he's not afraid to tell you when you mess up, which I like that kind of very, that honesty. So when Donovan put out his work, it is of a good quality because he ensures that, and he did a lot for the past with the music, but he's continuing. He's still going into the future of reggae music because he's working now with younger artists. Romain and Dalton is out there, so continuing the legacy that he has had. He introduced the world to some incredible artists, and I mean in terms of the history of our music, what he did for dancehall of that era, I don't think there's anybody. It's irreplaceable. It cannot be discounted. It has to be honored for that era of our musical history. And look at what he's doing right now. So probably in the next 10 years, when the music is reviewed, and in terms of the quality of his music, he's gonna also be standing there. So his history, he is now, and his future.
Has reggae been good to you?
Yes, without a doubt. People, like I said, people that some people work all year and save up the money for 2 weeks. They will go somewhere for 2 weeks. They just take me all over the world and paid me. And I've had a good life from reggae.
The icing on the cake? In October 2014, the Institute of Jamaica awarded him a Silver Musgrave Medal for his contribution to music.
Sharing